Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I'm gonna recap a 1982 American epic sword and sorcery film called Conan the Barbarian. The movie is about an orphaned boy, Conan, who is enslaved after his village is destroyed by the forces of vicious necromancer Thulsa and is compelled to push the wheel of pain for many years. Once he reaches adulthood, Conan sets off in search of the man who killed his family and stole his father's sword as he faces a supernatural evil. So without further ado, let's find out if Conan would be able to find the sorcerer responsible for the genocide of his family and people. The movie begins during the Hyborian Age, where a blacksmith named Niall is making a masterwork sword. After finishing the sword, Niall shows it to his little son Conan and teaches him about their god, Crom, and the riddle of steel, where every warrior must solve before entering Valhalla. He continues by saying that he should not trust men, women, or beasts, but the sword he just made. Soon, mysterious black riders attack the village with a strange standard of a serpent with a head on each end crested by a black sun and moon. Although the villagers fight valiantly, they end up getting brutally killed. Niall kills several of the attackers, but eventually gets killed by the attack dogs of the group. Conan's mother, Maeve, is the only adult still alive as the brutal attack comes to an end. She holds Conan's hand and stands guard over him with her sword. Thulsa Doom, a mysterious black man with straight hair and piercing blue eyes, approaches the pair with his two lieutenants, Rexor and Thorgrim. Maeve defends herself bravely, but soon gets hypnotized by Doom's piercing eyes. After stealing Niall's sword from Rexor, Doom decapitates Maeve. Terrified, Conan watches as Thulsa Doom leaves with the sword his father forged. While their village burns, Conan and the village children are led away in chains as slaves. Conan and some of the children are sold to the Vanir tribe and join other children at the Wheel of Pain, a massive outdoor grain mill. They are forced to push the spokes of the wheel. Time flies by, and Conan grows into an adult. Conan has grown enormously muscular by the time the mill is closed, and he is led away in chains. Later, a giant red-haired warrior buys Conan and hires him as a pit fighter. Initially, Conan is baffled by the violence, but quickly learns how to fight with various weapons. He becomes a champion, bringing home a lot of gold for his master. His master then takes him to the Far East to train him in different fighting skills, weaponry, and philosophy. His master finally decides to set him free one evening after having too much to drink. When Conan is finally set free, wolves chase him across the countryside. After climbing a cairn of rocks to protect himself, he ends up finding the Atlantean general's tomb. After lighting a fire using rocks, Conan looks around and retrieves an ancient sword along with other protective equipment. Conan uses the sword to get rid of the wolves and starts traveling until he comes across the hut of a beautiful woman who appears to have some knowledge of mysticism. She welcomes him inside and offers to tell him his fortune. Conan claims to be looking for a symbol depicting a single serpent with two heads facing each other on a sun-like disc. Later, they get intimate, and the woman reveals that Conan will find the symbol in Zamora. Conan is forced to throw her into the fire after she transforms into a demon. She bursts into flames, transforms into a fireball, and races around the hut and out into the surrounding woods. Conan is left alone to think about what happened. The next morning, he notices a man chained behind the hut. Turns out he's a thief named Subutai. Conan frees him, and they form a team. Subutai introduces Conan to the profession of thievery, and they travel from town to town. Conan inquires if anyone has seen the strange serpent symbol. One old man informs them that there is a growing snake cult with temples in many towns, including this one, but he is unsure if they use the symbols he seeks. Conan and Subutai then decide to raid the temple because it is said to hold valuable treasures, including a large ruby known as the Eye of the Serpent. As they get ready to ascend the temple's tower, they notice a woman hiding in the shadows. Upon confrontation, she reveals that her name is Valeria and that she is also a thief. The three decide to raid the Tower of Serpents together, stealing jewels and other valuables from her shrine. Fortunately, the snake sleeps while the two steal all they can. In the meantime, Valeria explores the top of the tower, only to find out Rexor, the high priest second only to Tulsa Doom, supervising and managing one of the cults. A young girl is getting ready to dive into the pit of snakes and sacrifice herself to the serpent there. A medallion that resembles the symbol of Doom's killers, who destroyed Conan's village, can be seen on the wall. He takes the medallion, but the snake wakes up and attacks. However, Conan and Sabbatai manage to put an end to it without interfering with the ceremony. As the ceremony ends, the girl jumps into the pit. Soon, Rexor finds out about the snake's death and sends guards after the thieves, but luckily, they manage to get away. The trio overindulge in their celebrations over the next few days and are easily caught by the king's guard. When they are brought before King Ulsric, they expect punishment, but they are surprised when the king praises them for opposing the cult. He gives them a mission to find his daughter Yasamina, who has been taken in by the cult and is on her way to meet Thulsa Doom. Conan's new love, Valeria, advises against pursuing the princess, but the next morning, she finds out that Conan is gone. Besides seeking out Thulsa Doom to save Yasamina, he travels alone to seek revenge for the deaths of his family members. Conan travels to Thulsa Doom's Mountain of Power Temple in the east. Before he gets there, he passes by a sacred area with numerous standing stones and an elderly wizard named Akiro. As they get to know one another, the wizard warns Conan of the power of Doom. Conan goes to the Temple of Set dressed as one of his followers. The temple consists of a massive set of steps up the side of the mountain, leading to an ornate entrance into caves that honeycomb the peak. He sneaks up to the steps, stealing a priest's robes, but one of the guards spots the stolen medallion he's carrying. Conan is taken into custody by Thorgrim and Rexor, who then drag him before Thulsa Doom, who reprimands him for stealing the eye of the serpent and killing the enormous snake, which was Rexor's pet. Conan responds that Doom murdered his parents, but since Doom has killed so many people throughout his life, he doesn't remember the incident. He also claims that flesh is stronger than steel, which he illustrates by convincing one of his female followers to jump off a nearby cliff. Doom commands Conan should be crucified on the Tree of Woe. After this, Conan is abandoned in the desert and tied to an old tree. Conan is on the verge of death when Sabbatai finally saves him. He is then brought to Akiro for treatment. The wizard draws ancient language script and several symbols on Conan's body and informs them that the spirits of the underworld will come and try to take Conan's spirit with them. Valeria proclaims she will battle them. Akiro cautions that the gods will exact a heavy price for such blatant defiance, but Valeria says she is prepared to pay it. Soon, they manage to drive the spirits away and save Conan. Next, Conan finds out that cave entrances connect the temple's interior to the far side of Doom's Mountain. The three sneak into the temple through the back door, disguised as warriors, and silently kill the guards. They continue to the throne room, causing havoc, and they burn the drapes. Rexor recognizes Conan and attacks him with a double-bladed axe. He is soon joined by Thorgrim, wielding a large warhammer. Conan is on the verge of being defeated when Thorgrim's warhammer knocks over a pillar, allowing some of the elaborate masonry to fall on him and Rexor, giving Conan time to flee. On the other hand, Valeria grabs Yasamina and they leave. However, Conan is forced to carry Yasamina on his shoulders because she's reluctant to leave. The thieves ride off with the princess when Doom arrives at the back entrance, with Rexor and Thorgrim swearing vengeance. Doom hits Valeria in the leg with a poisonous arrow he made from an enchanted snake. Unfortunately, Valeria dies in his arms, after which Conan burns her body at a warrior's funeral. Yasamina, who is tied nearby, claims that Doom will attack if he sees the funeral pyre. Conan grinned, seemingly inviting Doom to come find him. Later, Conan, Akiro, and Sabbatai put together a defense against the scared standing stones. At last, Conan turns to his god Crom and prays to him, telling him to keep in mind that today two will stand against many, and that if Crom doesn't want to help Conan, that's fine. Doom arrives with a crowd of men and stands on a distant hillside to watch the battle. Conan and Subutai overpower most of his men despite being outnumbered. That's when Thorgrim is killed by one of Conan's elaborate traps. As he watches Thorgrim die, Rexor, using Niall's sword, attacks and nearly kills Conan. He is about to kill Conan when a Valkyrie-like figure steps in and asks the warrior if he wants to live forever. Turns out, it's Valeria's ghost looking fierce in her shining armor. She has kept her promise to Conan to fight alongside him even if it meant coming back from the dead. Conan finally defeats Rexor after regaining strength, shattering his father's sword. Seeing that his men have fallen, Doom decides that if he cannot have Yasmina, no one will. So while the young girl cries for help, he prepares another enchanted snake arrow to kill her. However, Subutai runs up the hill and blocks the snake with his shield. Now that Doom has left, Yasmina seems to be liberated from his enslavement. The scene changes to Doom conducting a night ceremony at the mountain temple. Numerous people carrying lit torches stand on the steps of the temple as his supporters. Soon, Conan shows up behind him, and when Doom recognizes him, he informs Conan that he cannot kill him because Doom is the only purpose he has in his life. As his mother did years earlier, Conan is briefly mesmerized by Doom's enchanted voice and hypnotic gaze. But he quickly snaps out of it and beheads the villain with Niall's broken sword. He raises Doom's head to the audience before tossing it down the stairs. The crowd puts their torches out in the pool of the temple after realizing that their leader was not immoral as they had believed. Conan is alone as he sits on the temple steps contemplating what to do next. The movie ends as Conan throws a burning oil lamp into the temple, setting it on fire, after which he takes Yasmina back to her father. The epilogue reveals Conan will one day become a king, but this is a story for another day. With that being said, that is it for today's video. Conan the Barbarian combines breathtaking action sequences, visceral violence, and a compelling revenge-driven narrative to deliver a thrilling cinematic experience. What did you guys think of the movie? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.